welcome to another edition of Louder with Ace Archives. So, back when in the 90s, when I was still a music journalist, I got the opportunity to interview a lot of my musical heroes, but also a lot of sort of up-and-coming artists who are just beginning to break. And in another episode, you could check out the first time I ever interviewed somebody from the band Slipknot, and that was Sean Cran, the clown. And this interview that I did with him took place before they had even released their first record. So it was a real big insight into the genesis of that band. Now, when the album came out and they started touring, and it's such an impact on the world, and very quickly the album began to really do a slow burn into being a huge success. And several months after I first saw them on Ozfest, they're starting a tour. And it was Slipknot, it was Cold Chamber, and Dope, if I'm not mistaken. But in any case, I caught up with them in Seattle at a club called Deviate, one of the best live shows I'd ever seen. But before the show, I managed to sit down at Seattle's very famous coffee shop called Five Course Cafe. And I sat down with Corey Taylor, and we talked about all things Slipknot. And it was one of my groundbreaking interviews, because this was the first interview that ever got published for me in a magazine and had cover mention. And I really enjoyed it. The article ended being called "Music in the Key of Hate," and went over really, really well. So it was a great interview, and Corey was such an open, honest guy, and I really enjoyed the talk. So I managed to record. You'll hear a lot of background noise from the cafe patrons and things like that, but I think it's still pretty audible. So I hope you enjoy it. Here's my interview with Corey Taylor. This would have been in the late 90s. And let me know what you think. Okay. Checked out Slipknot opening for Cold Chamber last night in Vancouver. Another amazing show. And now we're down in Seattle, hanging out at the 5 Point Cafe with Corey.
Hi.
And let's talk first of all about how Slipknot all came together.
Okay.
9 guys in Des Moines, like-minded people. How does that come together?
It's easier than you think. Well, first of all, a little background on the band. The band got together about 94, 95. End of 94, beginning of 95. And it was kind of like it was directionless, but they knew what they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? If you can make sense out of that. I got into the band later, and it was like this whole vision was coming together. You know, it's like working out the kinks, more where it was coming from than where it was going. You know, and the last 2 years, it's been pretty crazy, because you know that's when we really finally started to get everything together.
Did you put out the indie CD before or after you were in the band?
Oh, it was way before. It was way before. I remember standing with a friend of mine, my best friend Denny, at the first Slipknot show, and going, "I'm going to be in this band. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to sing for this band. I don't care," right? Because the band I was in at the time, we'd been around forever, and it seemed like I was the only one who wanted to do anything, you know, and that's what makes Slipknot special, because everybody that's in this band, we're the ones in our own little tribes that wanted to make it happen, you know. We were the one with the work ethic. We were the ones that would jump out of bed at 4 in the morning and go, "I can't get this riff out of my head. Let's work it out," you know. Or I'll like jump out of bed and I'll be like, "Oh, it's a great line. I'll write it, and I'll write a whole fucking song with it," you know. That's what we did, and that's how it was easy for us to all get together. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I know people have misconceptions about Des Moines, Iowa. I mean, it breeds a lot of imaginative people, because there's nothing there. You have to concentrate on things you don't have. You know, you have to come up with creative ideas to do things, right? Like setting graveyards on fire, stuff like that, you know. I'm not saying that I did that, in case there's any law enforcement agents listening, but, you know, It's that's the kind of person it breeds. It breeds an individual that has drive, breeds an individual who doesn't back down from shit. You know, if they know what the hell they want, they're gonna fucking go for it. You know what I'm saying?
But it's more than that. I mean, I don't want to belabor the Des Moines thing, but having had the opportunity over the last 6 months on the times that I've seen you guys and met you guys, I've talked to just about everybody in Slipknot and made an impression of what kind of personality there is, and they're all very strong personalities. And having talked to Sid last night to some extent, he said that all of you are involved in the songwriting process as well.
Yeah.
I mean, to find 9 highly creative, highly focused, highly driven people in a relatively nowhere place, that's amazing. It's almost like kismet or something, you know?
It's kind of karmic, actually. I mean, think about it, because I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody in the van, but we've all had pretty rough lives. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a couple people more degrees higher than others, you know. But I mean, myself, I went through a really fucking terrible childhood, you know, and I think that has a lot to do with it too. I mean, that definitely builds character and pushes you to fight against shit like that. You know what I'm saying? We're very strong-willed. We don't give a fuck what anybody says. And if you disagree with us, fine. That's your opinion. But if you try to push your views on me, I'll kill you. And that's just the way it is. But as far as the music thing happens, chalk it up to luck. You know, I mean, we could have been in any town, and it would have been something different. We had to come from Des Moines, Iowa, for it to be Slipknot. And I'm not saying that Des Moines is like this, you know, thing. It made us who we are. And to go against that would be to go against Slipknot itself.
Well, the one thing that really comes across in the music is an incredible level of aggression, rage, and venting, if I can use that term.
Oh yeah, please do.
But there also seems to be more of a single dimension to the music as well. There's got to be other sides to your personality, but they're not coming out in the music as much.
Well, we gotta realize. I mean, this is the music we've been doing for a couple years now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's very, like you said, we're all multifaceted. You know, we have different sides to us. And if you really think about it, though, I mean, there's a lot of music on this album that really shows different sides to us. There's a lot of rage, but there's also a lot of melancholy. There's a lot of just general sadness. I mean, look at purity.
Disgust as well.
Yeah, disgust. Well, there's a lot of disgust. That goes hand in hand with the rage thing.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we're so pissed off, man. I mean, it was like we grew up with all these promises that didn't come true. You know, we grew up thinking with this ideal, you know, and maybe it was because we were from such a guarded place like Des Moines, and then we see that shit is just fucked up all over. And you know, you get kicked in the teeth enough, we're gonna come back at you, and that's where the rage comes from. But like purity, prosthetics, scissors, I mean, totally different. Like emotions, there's so many different emotions on it that to categorize it as rage would be to only go halfway in the listening of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can be listening to it. There's so many different levels and layers of it, to use one of Sean's words.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to it, man. I mean, a lot. The kids pick up on the rage immediately because that's the base feeling. I mean, we're all pissed off and we all are raging against something. But once you listen to it more and you really start to hold the music, because it's very tangible music, you really feel a lot more.
But it absolutely builds a kindred spirit with what you're doing.
Exactly.
And I think that's why so many people relate to it, certainly why I do. And you talk about the diversity of the people in the band, and I think on a very sort of interesting level, I saw that manifest itself yesterday in a way that you probably didn't even realize. You did an in-store autograph session yesterday at a CD store.
Yeah.
And when all was said and done, part of the arrangement was that you each got to take a CD. And I was just wandering around the store watching what kind of CDs the guys in Slipknot would buy. You know, and you see one guy just totally stoked that he found Black Sabbath's Live Evil album on CD, which he'd been looking for forever. That was his. You know, Joey finds Kiss's double platinum. You know, that's his. Sean takes a Ministry-like album album called November 17, you know? What did you take? I didn't see.
I got Bill Hicks, Arizona Bay. I'm a comedian freak, man. I love comedy albums. I've got
Me too.
Dennis Miller, Dennis Leary, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Bill Cosby, old Bill Cosby.
Yep.
Bill Hicks, I've been really getting into. I've got a lot of old Lenny Bruce that I've been getting into a lot lately. I mean, I'm really into it. Steve Martin, genius.
Oh,
when he put his comedy stuff, it's just amazing, right?
Let's Get Small, Wild and Crazy Guy. I
got them both. I got them both.
All the time.
They're great albums, man. I put them on and I'm just like, oh, sorry, I'm getting a little out of hand here. Corey's gonna stage dive. Oh, shit. So, but no, it's just that one thing from Let's Get Small that I remember to this day is like I listen to it all the time. It's like the one thing that cracks me up every time is like, before the show I like to do one thing that is impossible. So right now I'm going to suck this piano into my lungs. And I'm like,
then he goes, there.
And I'm just like, it's genius.
Yeah.
God damn it. So that to me, it was like, I grew up listening to that. My grandma had all these old Bill Cosby albums on vinyl. And when I couldn't sleep, she'd put them on. And it helped me go to sleep. So now I have to listen to a comedy album to go to sleep.
That's bizarre because I'm the same way.
Are you really?
I went, but it was Monty Python albums for me when I was growing up.
I just bought the final ripoff.
Oh, awesome.
Great CD, man. Great.
And every night I'd be playing, and I must have listened to them 1,000 times each,
But it helps, man. It's like you listen to it and you're just like, I'm all right.
Yes.
It's all good.
Yes.
But it's like, I guess I got to be in a certain mood to get something, you know what I'm saying? It's like the last in-store we did in Calgary, I got Anthrax, Among the Living, which I haven't listened to that album in years, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was singing Among the Living, the song, on the way to the in-store, and I get there and I'm like, hey,
that's it.
Take that,
Well, okay, but I guess the whole point of where I'm getting at with the emotions that manifest themselves on the album is that you are multifaceted people who have many different emotions, and it's not like you're always going to be feeling that rage, and you have to get up there every night and re-experience that and convey it in a convincing manner to the crowd.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I can put it in the simplest answer I can without really getting melodramatic about it. Everything that I've ever had to fucking put up with my whole life, and that's 25 years of bullshit. It's easy, man. I mean, there's a reservoir of fucking pain and rage to draw from, Every time somebody tried to put me down for what I wanted to do, every time a teacher made fun of me, just every time I had to deal with fucking closed-minded assholes, that's where it comes from, man. It's like, where else? You don't have to look any further than your own life to find a reason to be pissed off at everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say that I walk around with a fucking pessimistic attitude, I mean, everybody's idiosyncratic in the fact that they're fed up with bullshit and they're upset with the way their lives have turned out, right? Me, I vent it better, I mean, I hate and key. I mean, that's just the way to put it. I mean, the whole point is that if you get into this business and you have to look for some reason to be pissed off, you're doing the wrong thing. If it doesn't come naturally to you, then it's not going to fucking sound natural, and people are going to walk away, and you're going to hurt yourself in the end. You know what I'm saying? When I first started singing, it's a perfect example. It's kind of like a crossway. When I first started singing, I would try to emulate other people's styles because I wasn't sure how to find my own voice. And I'd lose my voice all the time. I mean, because I was constantly trying to do things that I didn't know. It wasn't me, Then once I started to really build myself as a singer and get inside instead of here, get inside and let that fucking emotion come out and not think about it, but just feel it, Watch it come out and out like that. That's when all the pain went away. That's when all the second guessing gone, the losing your voice gone. I haven't been hoarse once this whole tour.
Wow.
And the only reason I was hoarse on Ozfest was because before we left, I had an episode. I couldn't talk for 2 months. I couldn't talk the entire Ozfest because all I could do was sing for a half hour. And everybody was like, "Why doesn't he talk?" It's like, "Well, he can't." And then we wouldn't tell him why. Well, it's because I have acid reflux.
Okay.
And I went to practice one day, full stomach, terrible indigestion, and I tried to sing. Well, for one thing, I had no power from my diaphragm, and all these acids were popping up into my throat, fried it out, scared the living hell out of me. I'd never lost my voice like that before in my life, and it wasn't from exertion. It was because all these poisons were in my throat.
Right.
So as soon as that was gone, it was back. You know, I mean, I took the time, I fixed myself, I stayed true to what I wanted to do. It's like, if you want to ruin yourself and run around talking to people, because I was miserable in Ozfest, man. I mean, I couldn't go out and like meet the people. I was like, here's my dream, I get to do it, but I can't talk. What the hell's going on here? It's like, oh, catch 22, fuck you. I just wanted to eat people, you know? But in the end, it was all worth it, man. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, it came back stronger. And I went to back to the throat doctor, the voice doctor, and he was like, 10,000 times better. Way to go. Go for it. You can talk as much as you want. Just be careful on your acid reflux. I still have to take medication for my acid reflux. But if I hadn't done that, I'd have ruined everything. You know, if I hadn't taken the time and stayed true to who I was. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like, and now I can do this every day as long as I want. The only thing that hurts is going up and feeling that every night. You know, feeling all that pain that you say about. That's the thing that kills me, man. I am in pain every second I'm on stage. From the minute I pick the mic up till the second I slam it down at the end of scissors, man, it's all pain. And I need to do that or I'll run around with a fucking Wurlitzer just killing people.
You know, we talked a moment ago about comedy albums, and I remember a quote from an interview with John Cleese.
Yes.
Where he was talking about how some of his friends who were also comedians were afraid to deal with a lot of their personal demons and things like that because they felt that if they got better mentally that they would lose whatever edge they had for their comedy.
Yeah, totally. It makes sense. But then again, if you think about it, it really doesn't. Because this just helps you. We've got issues. Let's just fucking put it that way, you know? And I'm not talking about the new Korn album that's going to suck. And you can fucking quote me on that.
I've never seen or never listened to a Korn album I like, so.
I tell you what, man. Not to get off the track, but Korn is one of those reasons why I do this. Because when I first heard the first Korn album, man, I was so blown away by it.
Okay.
It was like one of my favorite albums of all time. I was just like, holy shit, this is beautiful. This is so untainted. It's gorgeous.
And I've even read that was one of the reasons you got Ross Robinson to work on yours thing.
Yeah, totally. We were big fans. I mean, it wasn't just that. It was Korn, Sepultura, Roots. Right. That album, amazing. And then when Soulfly came out, I was like, he's fucking on fire, man. You know. But the second album comes out, loved it just as much. You know, I mean, it was a great album. And then I hear Got the Life, and I'm just like, why is this band that I love so much all of a sudden they're shiny? You know, because I saw the video and I'm like, who the fuck is this? Is this a fucking tribute band? What is this?
You know,
and it just.
I felt the same way about the new Megadeth album. One of my favorite bands.
Oh God, Risk.
I
haven't even. Oh, it's so terrible, dude. Oh.
It's sad. It's
Crush. Crush him.
The opening riff, he owes Mike Reno from Loverboy royalty money because that's the opening riff of Turn Me Loose, man.
Totally. Oh, they're over. Yeah. They're just over. And it really sucks because they're a great band.
They are. But, you know, one of the things that...
Hold on a second. I gotta flag somebody down real quick.
More coffee.
You know this.
Yes.
Cervezas, por favor. Yeah, here's a...
Okay. You know, I think one of we sort of touched on it earlier, but it's got to be a challenge with your organization with 9 distinct personalities, and they are very distinct.
Yeah, totally.
All having an equal say in what goes on. It's a wonder you guys get anything done.
Well, here's the thing, man. It's a common goal. When you want to take over the world, you don't get, 9 guys that aren't into it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why it's kind of personal, but we lost our one of our original guitar players when we were making the album. That's when Jim came in.
Okay.
And Josh, one of the best people I've ever met in my life. You know, I mean, he loves his music, loves what he does, but he saw right away that this isn't what he wanted to do. He didn't want to go out like this for 6 months and miss his wife that he just married, and chase it and feel like this every day. He didn't want to do it, and he held on for a long time, but then he finally came to us like, man, I can't do it. And we were like, we understand, you know. I mean, it put us in a position, and we got Jim, thank God, you know. And Jim's probably one of the best things that's ever happened to the band. But if he hadn't come to us and said something like that, there's something might have happened, you know. Something might have happened, like on Ozfest or in between tours. We wouldn't have been able to come on this tour.
So even though he's not a member of Slipknot anymore, he was still there for the common goal and knew that he couldn't be part of it.
He understands what Slipknot is. He understood what Slipknot is, you know. That's why he let it go. And God bless him. I love him to death. He's like one of my bros still. You know, I talk to him every time I go home. And he's happy. He's so happy now because of the choice he made. Because he still has his music. You know, he can still write and do whatever he wants. He has his wife, you know, who he's deathly in love with. I mean, he cares about her so much, you know, that he would make the decision to not be in pain and help us and be at home with her, you know what I'm saying? And feel good about himself and feel good that he made that decision. So in a way, you know, it's still helping us, you know?
Well, you know, one of the things that Sean had told me when I interviewed him before the first album came out, or the only album as a matter of fact, that you guys have a band policy that nobody touches chemicals, nobody does drugs.
No drugs.
And you do it, you got one chance, and then you're out.
Yeah. We don't fuck around, man. I mean,
in an industry where that is a common norm almost, that's yet another mountain that you guys have surmounted. It's amazing.
Well, it's because I think a lot of the people think it's harder than it is. It's not. I mean, if you don't want to do drugs, you're not going to fucking do drugs, you know? As far as people accepting you for not doing drugs, who gives a fuck? You either accept me or you don't. I didn't get in this fucking business so you could like me. I didn't get in this business so you could hang out with me and do blow on the weekend, you know, so I could waste $5,000 of my fucking money. You know, I didn't get into that for this. I got in it for me, and I got in it for the other 8 people in this band, you know? I didn't come in for your approval. I came in to fucking be in your face and say, guess what? Your fucking time is over. This is the new way. Meet the new boss. Here's the new iconoclast. Fuck you. We'll see you later.
Awesome.
I don't give a fuck about politics. I don't care about rock bullshit. I don't care about hairstyles. I don't care about shiny jackets. I don't care about that shit, you know? And that scares the hell out of people. They're like, oh, God.
But you have chosen to manifest your creativity in an industry that is characterized by its
exactly.
So how do you deal with that?
I deal with it by eating every fucking sacred cow they have. I will not give up until it's over. And people are like, man, you got to work so hard in this business. It's like, yeah, but guess what? Once we're done, we'll own this business. We will write the new rules, and we will keep it true to what has been lost for a long time as far as I'm concerned, the music. And that's the whole fucking reason we got into this in the first place. We did not get in this fucking band. We didn't start this for hairstyles or trends or bullshit. We got in this to make real music because we saw so many bands that had so much potential lose it and cheese it and destroy something. You know, so much music is product anymore that I'll give you an example. I don't want to mention any names like Limp Bizkit's significant other, but a lot of it is just atrocious crap.
Yes.
There's no soul to it. There's no fucking life to it. There's no meaning. There's no feeling. You know, there's no rage. You know, I don't care what kind of music you do, but feel it, you know? Don't expect a kid to spend money that he had to scrape and beg and buy behind his mom's back to buy an album that doesn't have a piece of you in it. Don't expect him to like you after that, man. If you cheese a kid once, man, he's gone. He'll never come back.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. I totally agree, but let's set the Slipknot clock 10 years from now.
All right.
Okay? You
Well,
guys...
first of all, I'll probably be dead in 10 years.
I don't think
Because
so.
I don't think I can do this for 10 years and not die from some kind of, I don't know, a bad Pez dispenser, some kind of government conspiracy, anything, you know? I mean, go back to Bill Hicks, you know? He talks so much on the shit on the government that there's people are like, man, the government killed him. I'm like, he was a comedian, man. I'm up on stage going, fuck everybody. Fuck you, fuck your mom, fuck your mom's mom, fuck you, you know?
Let's assume that you managed to dodge the CIA hit squads and the fickle voice of America.
Yeah.
And 10 years from now, you're still slamming up there with Slipknot. I can't help but think of an interview I saw with Gene Simmons where he was talking about basically making excuses for albums like Unmasked, when he said that once you have had that taste of fame and adulation, you almost will do anything to keep it going. How does Slipknot plan to keep true to themselves?
I don't know, man. All I know is that we're true to ourselves right now. You know what I'm saying? That to me is worth a million albums. That to me is worth a platinum award. You know, as long as I can be myself and do this, I don't care about anything else. As far as 10 years down the road, I mean, I might mellow out, you know?
I doubt it.
I do too. I mean, I've been like this since I was 14 years old, and I was actually worse because, well, I've been drug-free for 10 years.
Okay.
But when I was like, between the years 12 and 15, I was really bad into drugs. And when I finally quit it, I OD'd twice on cocaine when I was 15.
Whoa.
Yeah.
15?
Yeah, but it's from another dirt hole in Iowa called Waterloo, which is complete depressive. I mean, you think this place is depressing? Waterloo is a fucking sty. It is. It's terrible. And my mom lives there, so I have to go there and deal with it. But I try to push it off as much as possible. I'm just like, Mom, come here. Come see me. I don't want to fucking go to Waterloo. I get depressed every time I drive into the city limits, you know?
But that place made you part of what you are today.
Exactly. I mean, well, if I hadn't got out of there, I'd probably be dead. Seriously. I mean, if I hadn't got out there and moved in with my grandmother in Des Moines, I'd probably be dead today. So it showed me not what to do, you know? So as far as, like, that goes back to the drug thing. I've been there, done all that shit. A lot of us have. You know, like Sid did drugs, Paul did drugs. But we did it at such a young age because of where we came from that we're not impressed by it, you know? We went there and back and we're like, fuck you. Drugs are stupid. They kill you inside. And I don't want to fucking be dead inside, you know? That's why we're not drug free. Plus, it fucks up the music, and I won't have that.
Good point. That's a very good point.
I'm getting off the track, though. 10 years from now, man, I don't know. 10 years from now, I could be maybe a restaurateur. I don't know what the fuck. Slipknots. McSlipknots, you know? I mean, come to McNuts, you know? First burger's free, the second one's $10. You know, I don't know. I could have a wife and 3 kids, for God's sakes. I mean, to try to guess the future is trying to, like, predict how well the next album's going to do.
Well, I guess it's not so much a prediction of the future, but considering how focused this band is, I would think that there's a plan.
Oh, there's definitely a plan.
So you must have some idea where you're going to be.
Complete world domination.
Okay, that's a simple goal.
That's basically it. But I tell you what, man, once we've accomplished everything, where do you go? I think that's when we'll let it go. I mean, and if we haven't done it in 10 years, we will keep going as hard as possible. But if we've done it in fucking 5 years, it'll be time to move on. Instead of flogging a dead horse like a lot of fucking bands have done, let it go. The reason a lot of bands fail after so long is because they go past the path they were chosen to take. They go past the point where they were supposed to stop. Like Megadeth.
Yes.
I mean, Megadeth should have stopped after, to me, Rust in Peace.
I would go as far as Euthanasia, but anyway. I like that album.
Countdown to Extinction I'll give you. Euthanasia is negative. I don't know what the hell that whole French song was about. Dave, you're not fooling fucking anybody. This is God. What the hell were you thinking?
Well, it's thinking dollars, man. He just had come up a double platinum album.
True. But see, that's when you become, that's bands, yeah, there's Megadeth right there.
Oh my.
But when bands become a slave to what they're supposed to do, that's when the artistic view leaves. That's when their vision is gone, and it's all about this. It's all about payola.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I have been around a few bands that have been fairly successful, and what I have witnessed, and maybe this isn't a naive point of view, is that as you get successful, you get more insulated from the outside because of the perils that come along with extreme fame.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have a feeling it's something you guys are going to have to deal with. That
we will definitely deal with it.
You are going to get to the point where you can't sit in a cafe in a street corner on Seattle because it would cause too big a disruption.
Exactly. Well, here's the thing. Here's the way I look at it. Because we wear masks, and this is probably a good reason. I mean, it's not the reason we did it, but because we wear masks, not a lot of people know who we are.
True.
And that there's some pseudo-anonymity with it, because I mean, I get recognized a lot from the tattoos I have, or this hat has become famous now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm going to have to find a new tour hat. And people are going to be like, where's Corey? And I'm going to be walking around going, so, but, for whatever reason or not, a lot of the masses still don't know who we are, and that's kind of cool. You know, it's kind of refreshing. It's like the Kiss thing. You know, we didn't take it to such extremes where we would hide our faces everywhere we went. You know, but it's important to remember who you are, and I think the masks help that. And as far as fame goes, I've been famous since I was 15 years old. You know, in my town.
Okay.
It just, you deal with it. You know, the people that come up to you, hey, what's up? You know, it's like, hey, you know, whatever. It just depends on, I guess it depends on the episode, man. If you feel like talking, you'll sit there for hours. If you don't feel like talking, you'll politely talk for about 5 or 10 minutes, and you'll say, hey, I gotta go. There's things I have to do. It's not about being rude. It's about being true to yourself. If you feel like talking, you talk. If you don't, you don't. So, as far as I've always said that as long as a band is relevant, they'll be around as long as you want them to. If a band ceases to be relevant, if you have something good to say, you'll be around forever, you know? But if you don't, you'll disappear like yesterday's fucking back bacon. You know what I'm saying? You will be gone. They'll flush you away. It's Tuesday, it's garbage day. Bye. So, I guess it's all relativity, you know? I mean, if I think I have something relevant to say, but other people don't, it's a tricky question, man. I mean, it's because you're dealing with a lot of things that I don't know about. You know what I'm saying? I'm a baby to this still. You know, we got one album, it's doing really well, and we're touring our asses off, and we're playing for kids that would kill for us, and that's a good fucking feeling, you know.
Yep.
To have people scream fucking words back at me as hard as I'm screaming at them, that's an honor. Because people fucking feel that shit. So it gets to the point where I'm singing about, you know, chicks with fucking black shoes and shiny dresses. Negative. How about no? I will never fucking do that, you know? So it's all about relevance, man.
It's good to hear. I'm very glad to hear that.
If I run out of things to say, you won't hear from me again. Because here's the thing, man. I mean, it's making money ain't shit. I mean, my grandmother can make fucking money off this. You know, it's like you channel money wherever. You know, if you're a good investor, you'll have cash. You do this because you want to do it. You do it because you feel it. And if you don't feel it, fuck the money. You can make money somewhere else. If you made enough that you can live comfortably and like invest somewhere and start something else that you feel, let it go. Let the music go. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. If you have something to say, say it. If you don't, back away because somebody else has something to say. And all you're doing is hogging the room for them to fucking say it.
The music that comes across in the album it's so personal. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, you guys are really bearing all in there. Is that why the masks? So that you can at least say it from behind the mask?
Well, not that. It's actually reversed. It actually helps us express better. You know, I mean, it's like, My mask, personally, is complete pain. It represents everything I fucking rally against. There's so much spit and blood and phlegm and puke and hate and pain in that fucking mask just from playing that I put it on every night and I remember why I do it. You know, it's like, and there's actually a space where for like 5 seconds I forget who I am. And it's almost like a transitional stage. It's like I go from me now to the person I was when I wrote these songs, when I sang these songs, and why I put this mask on in the first place. And then it's like, it's on. You know what I'm saying? And then when I take it off, it's a cathartic fucking feeling, man. It's so good. Because, I mean, this is therapy for us, man. You know? I mean, this is, a lot of people use this as a money thing, and this is catharsis. This is complete fucking expression, and I can't think of a better way to sleep at night.
That's awesome. You have a home video coming out real quick.
Yes. Actually, it should be out today.
Oh, excellent.
November 9th. So
30 minutes long, approximately?
30 minutes long, live footage. The band video for Spit It Out. Banned from MTV.
I've seen it. The one that's based on The Shining?
Yep.
Yeah, that was
a great video.
Yeah.
They banned it because they said it was too evil. Whatever, bud. There's more evil in a Maze video than there is in our fucking video. God, at least we're not throwing money around and saying, hey, bitches and hoes. Fuck you, asshole. Well, as you can see, I'm not afraid to say exactly what the fuck I want.
What happens with the next album? When are we planning to start having?
We're already planning some shit for the next album, but it's going to be harder, crazier, sicker than the first album. Dude. It's going to fucking just encompass the first album. It's just going away. It's just going for it, you know? Because this album, you got to realize we've been playing these songs for a long time, you know? And we've seen them come a long way from where they were. You know, you've heard of the Digipack. You see where...
I haven't.
You haven't?
In fact, there was
you guys heard
we were talking about.
Huh? Get this? Despise, which was the demo for Purity, and then Interloper, which was the demo for Diluted.
Okay.
And you can see where those songs went. They went from being really good songs to being way more personal than we ever thought they were going to be. You know what I'm saying? Because we were working them, and it was just like click in the studio. It was just like, holy shit. So that has opened up a whole nother fucking world for us. And when we go back in, man, the next album is going to be a lot darker. A lot darker.
Will it be out before the summer?
Probably not. I mean, we'll see. We want to tour as long as possible. And I think we're going to be on next year's Ozfest. Oh. So I don't want to, you know, knock on wood, don't want to say anything definite yet, but it's been talked about, and we've already been talking to Sharon about it, Sharon Osbourne.
Right.
And after that, we want to tour all the way up until October 31st, you know, and do a big like homecoming blowout show. Home High is our last show until we do the next album, you know. But that's you know, that's the long view right now.
Right.
Short view is we're on tour with Cold Chamber till the end of this week, you know, and after that we go to Europe, the thing I've dreamt about my whole fucking life, you know. I heard the food sucks and the chicks stink, but I don't care. I just want to fucking go to Europe, man. I want to go to London and walk around and, you know, and just be like, you know. I don't care about the bull. I don't care. I'm an optimist. I know I bitch a lot and I scream a lot and I'm pissed off a lot, but I'm completely optimistic. I just love the fact that because of what I do, I get to go and travel the fucking world. How awesome is that? How many people get to say that besides like insurance salesmen?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so that to me is a fucking complete gift. Fuck the money. I get to go to fucking London, you know? It's great.
Wow. I appreciate you taking the time.
No problem.
To share this.
Shit.
It's been awesome.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to me, bitch. You slam on a lot of people I've never met, but I don't care. You suck.